An intro with audio? That seems a little weird compared to the running trend of recent intros. I just thought it'd be a lot more lively than the empty void that is the galactic map. Greetings all, it's Blue Knight. Welcome back to Ratchet and Clank. Previously, our adventure took us to planet Eudora, the logging site, where we tried to fend off Drek's forces. It tried to prevent them from destroying said planet. Needless to say, we didn't do our job correctly, since robots are still roaming the planet. It's inhabited planets now. We already taking care of what we wanted to set out to do, so it's not our problem anymore. Today we'll be heading to the Blarg Tactical Research Station. That's kind of hard for me to say for some reason. In Nebula G34. All we gotta is explore the space station, but I'm pretty sure there's more to it than just that objective. We also recovered an infobot on your door to get to this station, as well as a sun cannon, which is something that hopefully I'll be using a bit more often in this level because I didn't get to use it much when we were on Eudora. So welcome to the Blarg station. This could be the first instance of a level that's taking place in space. So this is gonna provide quite a bit of a different atmosphere. Let's just say that. So we head to the Gadgetron vendor. Is there anything we can buy? Yes, there is. The Taunter. One more for our artillery. So the Taunter isn't really an offensive-based weapon. Not everything you find in this game was made to be a tool of destruction, like I stated in the in the time that we got the swing shot. That goes for weapons too, not just gadgets. Let's see. Let me just get the trespasser out. So the taunter is used to lure enemies to your location. It might sound a bit silly in its premise, but it can actually prove to be very helpful. You just gotta use it at the right time. I will be doing that through our time here at the research station. It's the first instance of multiple blockers being utilized in one of these trespasser puzzles. This might end up taking a while because we've got a lot of blockers to work with now. The key to getting past puzzles like this on the Trespasser is to try to get all the blockers out of the way of the path of both the lasers and the receptors. Like I'll do it right now. It's kind of confusing at first, but I'll eventually get the hang of it. Sooner or later. Alright, finally got it. Took a bit longer than I expected, but not too much of a hassle. Oh, this takes us to becoming Clank. I actually want to save that till a bit later on. So the door I was heading to first was the correct path at least I want to go to. More peroxide ammo. There's something. Oh yeah, you can see the face. So it might be kind of hard to tell on the screen, but if you look closely, there's the face of a human. That's former Insomniac employee Dan Johnson. He used to be, like I said, an employee at Insomniac Games, but ended up leaving with a bunch of other employees from that studio to form High Impact Games, which I believe made a couple of other Ratchet and Clank spin-offs. The show has an autopilot which will take us to a decommissioned Blarg warship. Our scanners indicate that there might be some useful tech on board. So we'll do that while I discuss this Dan Johnson thing in the meantime. He's no longer alive, unfortunately. He passed away in late 2006. But Insomniac likes to put his face in many of the Ratchet and Clank games as an Easter egg. It's kind of nice to see that Insomniac, or any studio for that matter, is willing to show some love to one of their former employees. It's something that you rarely see nowadays in modern games. I'm not saying that it should be a thing all the time, but it's kind of nice to see that developers actually acknowledging one of their employees for whatever kind of contributions they made before their passing or their leave from the studio, whichever came first. Do I have the suck cannon available? Yes, I do. Good. So we can finally suck up all these Horny Toads, and wow, I already got 5 just like that in an instant. I did not expect this hallway to be that crowded. So we used to have some small enemies, that's kind of easy to take out. Let's see how it does against some of the larger foes, like this Blarg Commando. I like how it bounced off the floor there, I didn't think it could do that. I might have to go a bit closer away from the wall, or a bit farther away from it. I don't take damage, but it's gonna be worth it to show this off. Yeah, one shots them both, very nice. Then again, the Blarg Commandos aren't really that tough to begin with. Do want to take out more of these Horny Toads just in case, also for bolts because bolts are nice. So while we're using the Suck Cannon, there's actually a little thing I want to talk about the weapon that we're using. The Suck Cannon that we see now, actually was the way it was designed at first, even from the name to the concept of the function of the weapon. I guess the developer just liked it that much and they kept it throughout development. And that one actually hit one of the crates, dang it. So what we're encountering right now are space mutants, or alien mutants. Actually, alien mutants are the official name. Space mutants are just another sub-name. And these guys can be quite difficult to take out. I might consider using the Age of Doom, but I don't want to overuse that. Take that one out, very nice. The jumping throw the bomb glove should eliminate them, as we've seen right now. Let's take out this explosive crate. So those larger crates, you have to use stronger weapons to take out, like with the bomb glove, or with one of the other weapons that we might find soon enough. It might be on this level, I'm not too certain. But in any case, let's be a naughty boy and press the big red shiny button, because that's always appealing to the eye. And as always, it leads to very bad stuff. But as we just saw, there's an info bot next to the entrance of the ship that we used to get to this decommissioned warship. So we gotta haul ass and get out of here. You got more than enough time to get back to your shuttle, so don't worry too much. Provided that you don't want to focus on the enemies too much, like I'm gonna do right now. I might end up dying if the green ends up getting to me like this. See, 25 seconds left. I'll just ignore those Horny Toads. Actually, take you out. Now you know what? I got enough time left. I'll wipe all of you out with the Frosser. I'm actually taking a lot of damage here. But we're close to the end of this little chase sequence, so to speak. 8 seconds, that's nothing too surprising for me. I never failed at this little escape sequence. So as we leave, we can see that we're gonna destroy a warship. Trek is not gonna be happy about that, but I don't care. If it upsets him, then that makes our job all the more rewarding, I guess.
This is Darla Gratch reporting live from Blackwater City. We've just learned that Captain Quark will be presenting the grand prize at the Intergalactic Hoverboard Championship, which will be held here over the next few days. In related news, this planet has recently been suffering from an infestation of strange amoeboid creatures. The city's administration has assured this reporter that every step has been taken to eradicate these nuisances. Darla Gratch, Channel 2 News.
Did you see that?
Yes, I hope that poor woman is all right.
She's fine, I think. I was talking about the hoverboard races.
And we finally have coordinates to planet Rilgar. I kind of figured we were that far from getting the coordinates of that level. We heard mention of that back on our radio when we were talking to Skid and his agent. So now we've got the coordinates to get to that planet. We'll be able to handle their little, or at least the age's little objective soon enough. Roast all these guys with a Ferocitor. It's gonna be a big crowd to use the Sun Cannon, so I'm gonna hold that off until I take care of this batch coming towards us. No, not the Taunter. Use the Sun Cannon. Might be enough to fill up the Sun Cannon, well, just barely. Like I said, I want to show off the use of this weapon a bit more because we did get to do that back on Eudora. Wipe out all these Horny Toads. I gotta be really careful. I'm already down to one sphere. Take him out. Need a little help with these enemies? Try your Taunter. Hint, hint. In case you didn't get the memo by now. Yeah, thanks a lot, game. So these spheres, I demonstrated this just a few moments ago. We have to use those to take out these force fields. Or, like the game said, we can use the Taunter to our advantage. Just hold circle, and I'll lure whatever enemies that are near the vicinity into, well, whichever location you're at. But like I said, and just demonstrated, we can use that to our advantage in various situations. Unfortunately, that kind of scenario doesn't pop up that much with a Taunter, so it ends up being a bit obsolete in the later on in the game, but it has its uses, and when you do use it in a situation like I did moments ago, it can be very helpful. Another one of these trespasser puzzles. That whole ring's gonna have a bunch of blockers. Wow, I actually got that through relatively quickly. I was expecting to linger on that just a little bit, but to my surprise, we were able to get through that rather fast. And our reward is a bunch of ammo, a bunch of bolts. Very good. Very rewarding trespasser segment. With all this, now we can proceed on with our quest. Alright. Where do I want to go? I think I want to head right first. Might lead us to something very rewarding. Have to be careful of all these air vents though. This is emitting poisonous gas while these poisons the Ratchet. So you gotta be careful of all that. And this led to nothing. Fantastic. Let's see if I look down. No, that's just death. Though I might end up dying anyways. I tend to have a lot of trouble in particular segments like this. Like, right there, I just died. And it sent me back here. I hope I'm not too far away from our last location. I think I might be. Wow, it's amazing how good I am when I just shut up and actually play the game for once. Then again, my grief for getting bullets in this game was my ultimate downfall. It happened a lot in Slide 2 when I was so obsessed with getting coins for those gadgets, and now it's happening here as well. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Let's see, so let's swing shots over here. Take out this Space Commando. Now I think there might be a Horny Toad in one of these crates. One of them seems a bit out of place. Yeah, I thought so. They're trying to lure you in with that lone crate standing out in the front, but it's actually in the side crates. Very sneaky, Insomniac. Very sneaky, but I've played this game before, I know what to expect. So the only way to break down that force field is to eliminate these spheres. However, doing so will free one of the alien mutants, so be prepared for those guys to break free once you do take down that force field. Of course, a bomb glove's the best way to go against these guys. Though they're a bit tough like I think I mentioned before, but they're not that much of a hassle to deal with. Again, it's just figuring out which weapons will take out which enemies faster. So a bit of an experimentation to go whether this is your first time playing, or if you're not used to using the variety of weapons that you'll find in this game. But it does help out in the long run. Take out this guy. I think I saw a bunch of Horny Toads. Yeah, they were congregating up near that arc. Actually, I'll use the Sun Cannon to take those guys in. Can I reach up there? I can't. Maybe if I move a little closer. That's weird. I still can't do it. Alright, the blaster's gonna have some use after all. Hooray, I think. Not really. What in any case. See if can I boost jump up there? Jump, and then follow the space commando. Good. That was a bit of a tight spot. Now here we got a Gadgetron vendor. So you can refill on ammo if you want to. I'm not gonna do that. It's merely for the sake of trying to keep the gameplay streamlined. Because I don't want to break up the action and relying on the Gadgetron vendor too much. On a regular playthrough, that's what I would do most of the time. But that's not gonna be the case for this Let's Play. I think I should probably go back to the vendor because I'm being crowded up here like nuts. I'm gonna die again if I don't end up being a bit more careful. Thank you, there's a nanotech sphere there. It's these freaking alien mutants. That's what we gotta look out for. Uh-oh. Ooh, those guys could be a bit of a hassle if you're not prepared like I am right now. I can't believe I keep missing with those guys so much. Come on! Try to stop jumping. Then back off. There we go. That's how we handle things. As those guys are not gonna be worth using the sun cannon for. I'll just fry with a processor. So take out that crate. It's a bunch of crates that you can find in these little doorways. So be sure to look around here a bit before proceeding. Now that, I'll take out this generator while I'm at it, but I'm not gonna proceed. But besides, there's another one over there. I'll use the blaster to eliminate that, or I can use the auto homing feature this blaster has. Which is something I didn't think I'd go over when we first got it back on Kerwan. Then again, you can always, that's always the best use for it as a sniper, as a sniping weapon when you go first person. So I guess it does have its uses, but like I said, I don't use it much because of its lack of strength. Yeah, that's not the way I want to go. I want to head over here because one of these doors leads to a bunch of horny toads, but an even bigger prize that I'm setting out for. Our next gold bolt, and don't hit me, horny toad. Or is it not a horny toad? Oh no, it's an alien swarmer. I was getting my names mixed up, but then again, they do look like look a lot like the horny toads we saw back on Veldin. It's pretty easy to mistake them for those little buggers we saw back on our home planet. First I want to bomb you. And then bomb your friend too. That bomb is, but these two aren't gonna miss at all. I'll just wipe you out with a regular Omni-Wrench swing. Okay, before you take down this force field, I highly suggest you use your taunter if you did buy it at this point. You probably should because you should have more than enough, not ammo, more than enough bullets in order to get it. Because that way you can use these force fields to your advantage very efficiently. Take that out. And now to do onto these guys like we've done to their comrades. It'll take a bit of time because they have to approach it, but it does work out. By the by, the taunter actually had a few verbal lines that it would speak when it was being designed, but those end up getting taken out. I'll show the lines up right now on screen. Two of them might be very obvious from where those lines came from, but the other two might have been made up by the devs themselves, who knows. Just a little tip I like to throw in there. And now we got to deal with the Alien Queen. This is our first instance of a boss in this game. Now what I suggest you do, if you're going for 100%, is to not use any weapons, because taking out this Alien Queen with your Omni-Wrench and only your Omni-Wrench is a skill point. How do you do this? Well, you can either rely on the Comet Strike, but that tends to be a little risky. So I suggest you use the method I'm doing right now. Wait for the Alien Queen to attack, and then take a couple swipes, and rinse and repeat. Eventually, it's gonna summon a lot of other enemies. I'm not sure if it's gonna crowd you if you go near it. But there could be a lot of enemies that end up swarming you, so I suggest you try to keep your distance if they end up crowding you too much. Because I think in order to get the skill point, you have to use the Omni-Wrench on all the enemies that the Alien Queen summon as well. At least that's what I read up. So I'm not gonna take any chances and follow the directions to it, right down to the T. Already got over 9,000 bolts too. Wow. If we keep this up, we might have gained 10,000, which usually doesn't happen to me on a regular playthrough because I always end up putting a high priority on getting ammo from the Ganatron vendors. It's funny what you can accomplish by just switching up one of your main tactics. These alien swarmers are gonna be a bit more of a hassle to deal with. Well, not alien swarmers, alien mutants. The alien queen's gonna back off unless we take out its little babies. I highly suggest using the Hyper Strike on these guys. Because if you use a Comet Strike, Ratchet's gonna stay in place, and you won't be able to move at all. I'll admit, I did die here a few times on a recent playthrough because of those alien mutants. Because I was rolling on the Comet Strike a bit too much. Hyper Strike's the best way to go to take out those little guys. Well, more like medium guys. They're not exactly the tiniest thing in the world. Come on. Don't you want to fight me? Well, let's swipe at you, and that's it. And thus we earn our next skill point. And I believe this will actually take us to the end of our objective. A bunch of alien swarmers come down, but they're actually gonna swarm this guy. Let's focus on these crates first before we actually save a human life, or a raccoon, dog. I have no idea what it is, but let's save it anyways.
Whew. Thought I was a goner this time. Some nano-wit in genetics must have left the cages open again.
You could come down now.
Honestly, a gadget engineer deserves a bit more respect, if you ask me.
So, you are an inventor.
Gadget engineer. I create revolutionary devices for Executive Chairman Drek. For instance, Viola. My soon-to-be patented grind boots. Look, I need to get out of here so I can find a new job. How about I sell you these? At cost.
Sell? After we just saved your scrawny butt?
All right. I'll give you the employee discount, too. Well, thanks. I'm gonna get out of here while I still can.
We've got the grind boots. Grind boots let you travel on rails like this. Just jump onto the rail and grind. And we'll do that next time on Ratchet and Clank. We accomplished quite a lot today, so I figured this would be a good stopping point. So with that being said, next time, we're gonna continue to explore the Blarg Tactical Research Station, as we did see a door that we can send Clank through. So we're gonna do that and see what that holds. Until we meet again, everyone, farewell for now.